This chair is probably close to 30 years old. The spindle broke about 8 years ago, and I fixed it with a wooden dowel and some glue, and it broke again. So I'm going to do something different this time. I got some epoxy, some clear Gorilla epoxy made for wood and metal. Pretty good sized tube of that. A spade bit, new one if you can, the same size as some threaded rod, which I already cut a chunk off of that. I got a come along strap, drill, hammer. That's about all you really need for this. If you need some of these materials, you can check it out in the description. This thing broke pretty clean right there, so I got my come along strap and cinched everything back down, wiggled it and tapped it and got it snug, everything back where it should be. You're going to have to clamp this thing and strap it, whatever you got to do to get it secure enough to work on, because it really needs to stay put. You can see the old wooden dowel that I got in there, that I glued in there. Like I said, it's probably 8 years ago I did that, and it broke again. So I'm going to drill this out and put that threaded rod in there with some epoxy. I first cut about 5.5-inch chunk of this threaded rod. This is 5/8 threaded rod. Not so much to thread it in there, but I got the threaded just for more surface area for the epoxy to grab to once it's in there. This is pretty thick. I think it's actually too thick for this, but I'm going to go for it anyways. I think 1/2-inch rod would have been probably the way to go on this, but I think this will work. I'm feeling brave today, so get any screws, nails, anything that might be in the way of you drilling this thing out. After I did that, I found the center. This thing was so boogered up, I had to find the center as best I could. I made a little hole there and then got a drill bit to drill a pilot hole up into there. Double, triple check, quadruple check your angle before you start drilling, because once you start going off, you can drill through the side of that spindle real easy. So after I got that marked, I got the your spade bit's got that point on it, so that's going to follow that pilot hole in there. Take your time, like I said, triple check your angle even as you go, because it's going to be real easy to drill through that side of that spindle. It kind of looks like I went crooked, but I was just stuck that in there to show you. It actually went pretty good as far as getting in there. I didn't blow it out too bad. I'll show you here in a second what I did. But like I said, the angle is really important, especially if you got a compound angle coming out the bottom of that chair. So just take your time with that, because it'd be real easy to blow out the side of that spindle, like I said. So take your time. It's not a race. So I mixed the epoxy in this little plastic thing packaging with that little popsicle stick they give you. And I'm going to load this thing up, soak that threaded piece in epoxy, and then I'm going to fill this cavity that I just drilled all around the sides and down in there. Fill that up, and then tap that threaded piece down in there. And then I filled any little gaps or anything after it was in. And then you gotta leave this sit. You gotta watch that nothing runs out and gets all over everything. You gotta wipe it off as you go, otherwise it's gonna be hard to get off. This sat overnight. Doesn't look too bad, but I'll show you here. Get around the other side. That spindle's tapered a little bit, so where it goes into the seat, my spade bit took out part of that taper, and you can see a couple of those threads, like a thread and a half or something. So I don't think it's a deal breaker. So I'm going to use some putty and a stain marker and dress up that little bit. I think if it's just a darker color, you probably won't see it so much. So I'm pretty happy with it. Like I said, it sat overnight. The bottom side there, and then the top after I dressed it up. Sorry about the light there. Try to get around the side. I didn't think it turned out too bad. So, like I said, I wish I would have used the 1/2-inch rod. Probably would have been perfect. But this is not too bad. Super strong. So, yeah, if you got a chair like this, I think threaded rod and epoxy is probably the way to go if you want to make it permanent. Hope that helps.